Okay. All right. Dave and Justin here from the Enlightrepreneurs, and we are joined by Tom Ferguson, the founder of Rise Biscuits. Tom, thanks so much for joining us at a time like this.
Absolutely, guys.
All right. So we're here to talk really relevant, practical information for business owners in this current coronavirus environment. But Tom, why don't you talk about your story starting Rise and where you are now as a business?
Yeah, I started Rise in 2012 just a single location. And then we built it to a franchise over the last 8 years. We have 16 locations in 6 states. And I'm the CEO of the company, and we're rocking along.
Okay. Now, so you said 2000 and what, 2012? See, you've been through a few of these. Historically, what does that look like for you?
Yeah, I started my catering business in 2000, and then we had 9/11 happen shortly after that. So I was really young at that time in the company. But 2009 is the one that stands out to me. We got hit really hard at that point. Duke just stopped doing catering. That was about 60% of my business.
Wow.
Wedding brides decided to have their weddings catered by their local barbecue place.
Wow.
And rich people weren't doing parties because they didn't want to flaunt their wealth. So it all kind of crashed on us harder than even the restaurant business. But what happened then is I had an old-timer, Mr. Hernan, who owns Hernan Restaurant Equipment, come into my office and sit down and say, hey, you're going to be okay. You run a solid business. The people who run a solid business are going to be okay. This alone will not bring you down. And that was really meaningful to me at that time because I was stressed out so bad about not being able to make it. And then I just went into back against the wall mode. And without laying off my employees at that point, which I probably should have laid them off earlier than I did, but I was able to bring my costs down, get creative about ways to get food out to people, really was able to defer some payments on things I had. Did not wait for the government because the government had a stimulus package to give loans to small businesses that they only gave out like 3 of. So I learned not to wait for the government at that point. But the decisions I made in my shop, the things that I made where I thought about what to do instead of sticking my head in the ground is what saved me at that time and got me to the point where I am now. And I want to share that with people as much as I can right now. It's a great
So what types of decisions did you make then to adjust and position your business forward?
Well, I knew I need to pay my employees and I need to pay my purveyors. If I didn't have the employees or I didn't have the food to do, I wasn't able to do my job.
Yeah.
I didn't have to pay my rent right away. It was going to take a landlord a while to kick me out. I didn't have to pay my sales tax right away. The government, actually, North Carolina will let you be late on 2 payments over a certain period without paying any penalties on them. So take advantage of that. Take advantage of the things that you can. If your landlord, call them and ask them if they'll give you some more time. If not, just don't pay them right away.
Right.
You out. Pay the things that are essential. Call your home mortgage people and ask for a deferment. Call your vehicles, ask for a deferment. Most of those places are going to do that in times like now. So the one thing to be careful about at this time is to take loans. Because you're going to take that loan, and then when this is over, you'll still be paying that loan, and you'll be digging out of this big, big, big hole. So that's kind of where my advice lies right now. You can fight your way through it if you put your head to it. To the grindstone. You can do it by taking advantage of, make sure you're paying who you need to be paying when you have the money, because you're going to have less money to pay right now.
I think one of the really good points you make there, Tom, and you and Justin both being in the restaurant business, this is pretty much your moment here.
It's really that you just have to totally readjust your thinking, because we're just in the patterns. We pay these bills, we do this, we do that. And it seems like you just wipe the slate clean and you think, who do I have to pay to keep my business open?
Yeah. If you're a restaurant guy, typically you get in this business because you love food. You love people. You love something that's not business. You typically didn't get into it because you love business. But right now is the time to fucking grab your bootstraps and pull yourself out and start being a businessman. This is what's going to separate who makes it and who doesn't make it. And everybody's got it within them. Even if you think you're not this business person, yes, you are. You can make the right decisions for your company.
Wow.
One of the things that struck me, Tom, Justin and I met with Tom a couple weeks ago before you went birding in Honduras, and which is another podcast, another story, another time. You're seeing one of about 10 amazing facets of Tom Ferguson right here. But you were already ahead of this, because you were already talking about how you had gone from a delivery, more to a delivery model. And so when this happened, I thought, oh my God, Tom is, I don't know if he's Nostradamus or what the heck he is, but I think a lot of the experience that you already had going to that model would be really valuable to restaurateurs and other businesses that are now having to make the transition in real time with the virus upon us.
Right. So a lot of places are trying to shift to delivery really quickly right now, and curbside pickup. Curbside pickup is really easy for a company to do right off the bat.
Yeah.
Changing to delivery, the delivery companies are getting, you know, a bunch of requests right now to start it, but they're moving as fast as they can. DoorDash actually, you know, the reason why most restaurants didn't get into delivery is because that 30% fee they take off of your sale. Right now, DoorDash is offering 0 fees for 30 days to get you in. So take advantage of that. Get on in DoorDash. You know, you're going to find Uber Eats and the other ones right behind them with these type of offers. You might even find the government subsidizing some of these things later on. Who knows? Don't count on that, but you might find that. Curbside's easy enough to do. I've also recommended to people who have sit-down restaurants, go down your reservation list and start calling those people. Have some packages ready. If they support your restaurant and like you, they'd be more than happy to buy a meal from you once a week at least.
Right.
Time. Just be creative. Think of anything that you can possibly do to sell food, because you got to sell food to pay your employees, and that's basically who we're all worried about right now.
Right. We're just trying to take care of each other and get through this together, right? Well, and I got to thank you because after our sit down, I started researching curbside and delivery options for coffee shops. And so by the time this rolled around, we were able to turn around and add curbside to Nolia Coffee, which has been the thing that has really kept us alive during this time, and our community can support us that way. Another thing I would add for restaurateurs that we've seen is people are excited to buy gift cards right now.
Right.
Digital gift cards where they can still buy it and support you and then come and, you know, eat later when this is all done or whatever that is. But it's a really practical way. Make sure you have that option available for your people because they do want to support and they want to see you thrive.
They do. Everybody's kind of coming together right now. You know, if you went back 3 weeks in time, this nation was pretty divided.
Right.
And now we're a lot less divided. We're kind of coming together. Maybe it's time for us to make our version of, you know, the greatest generation. This is our time.
Yeah.
Let's not squander it.
So Tom, just are there, will there be something much more in depth?
For people later, we wanted to get this. When we talked to you on the phone just a few minutes ago, we thought we got to get this stuff out. You know, Justin especially just said, "Hey, this is gold. We can't keep it to ourselves." So, are there any other tips? Because since you were already transitioning to this model before this happened, and so you have some experience, what other advice can you get from people who are moving more towards an offsite model?
If you're doing delivery, most companies are raising the price of what they're selling on the third-party delivery than instead of what the price is in the store. There's limits and guidelines for that, but you need to do that to try to compensate some of that money. Right. So, for instance, if you raise your pricing 20% on the delivery platform, it will end up costing you about 15% instead of 30% once you work everything, your numbers out.
Right.
That helps you an awful lot in delivery. And these delivery companies are getting ready. Well, we're getting ready to start buying each other out so that these prices will start coming down and be a little bit more reasonable as time goes on.
Yeah.
But the delivery model, especially if you're a fast casual, quick service model, you really need to get into delivery and figure out how to work it out. The numbers are just showing growth, steady growth across the nation, and some places rapidly, especially in urban areas.
Yeah. So here's what I want to know. A couple points as we wrap this up that businesses need to do. What would you say kind of first steps? I mean, you've mentioned a few nuggets, a few tidbits here, but what are the real big, do this, don't do that? What does that look like?
For me, it would be control your costs, straight up, control your costs, control your labor, be honest and open with your employees about where you are right now.
Yeah.
Defer as many payments as you can. Defer them. Ones that aren't going to tell you deferment, like your taxes, just don't pay them. You have some breaks and stuff that's built into the system to help you out.
Yes.
Pay your employees, pay your purveyors, make food somehow, some way that you can service people. Keep things moving. Don't just stop, sit at home and get depressed about this. Get in there and work. It will keep you from being depressed too.
Right.
You're trying to do something. And that's a huge thing too. Not only the financial aspect of this, but the mental aspect of this is very important that you keep your head strong at this point.
How do you do that, Tom?
For me, I think I operate fairly well under distress, and when I have to make maneuvers, it makes me feel like, by making the maneuvers, it makes me feel that I have a purpose. And I think that a lot of us get a lot of our juice in this business from feeling that we have a purpose in what we do.
Yes.
And the only way you can do that is keep active and thinking in your business. You'll just go the opposite direction if you sit there and bitch about what's happening and what the government's not taking care of you and this stuff. It will only get worse and take you into a spiral. Now, I've been in those mental spirals before, as well as documented, but not in this particular arena where I'm having to lead my company and keep them positive and keep things going.
So what would you say is the opportunity here, right? Because leaders see opportunities. So there's a lot of negative that we can look at. If you were going to be Nostradamus again, what is the opportunity here for businesses to come out actually thriving on the other side, not just surviving?
The biggest opportunity here is to make it through this, because we're in a restaurant bubble right now. There's too many around. There's way too many. And a lot of those haven't been running their business well, haven't been putting out a great product. They will fail. They won't make it. And this, when we get through this, if you make it through with your company, you're going to go into a golden era with a lot of opportunities, a lot less competition, and higher sales. Plus, if you're taking care of your fan base, they're even going to be more loyal once you get out of this. Right. And your employees as well.
Yeah.
So do the right thing getting through this. Keep your company, make it all the way through, because once the storm's over, you're going to be in a better position.
Yeah. Oh, man. Tom, thank you so much. This is amazing. So we're going to Saturday. This Saturday is March 21st, I believe. We are going to go live stream with Tom for a full hour. So if you are a restaurateur, business owner, anybody, if you know one, send them our way, because you're going to actually be able to ask live questions and go in more in depth for this as well. Put it out to all your networks. That's this Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern. We're going to schedule that in, so stay tuned for all of that. Tom, we love you. Keep it up. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. I'll see you Saturday.
All right.
All right.